Imagine this. You arrive in a brand new city, but instead of booking a hotel, you stay in someone's extra bedroom, or maybe even a tree house. Sounds a little crazy, right? Well, that so-called crazy idea became a $75 billion company, and it completely changed the way we think about travel and hospitality. Today, we're diving into the story of Airbnb, how two broke designers went from renting out air mattresses in their apartment to shaking up the hotel industry across the entire world. Let's rewind to 2007. San Francisco. Two roommates, Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia, were struggling just to pay rent. That same week, a big design conference was coming to town. Hotels fully booked, so they had a wild idea. What if they rent out air mattresses in their living room and throw in breakfast too? They called it Air Bed and Breakfast. 3 guests showed up. Each paid $80 a night. That tiny experiment was the spark. A year later, their friend Nathan Blicharczyk joined as the third co-founder. Together, they launched what we now know as Airbnb. But let's be real, the idea sounded strange. Why would anyone want to stay in a stranger's home? Their first big challenge was trust. Travelers didn't trust hosts. Hosts didn't trust travelers. And investors, they didn't trust the business model at all. On top of that, the founders were broke. In 2008, they went to raise funding. Almost every investor rejected them. One even said, "This idea is just too weird. People will never do this." So, to survive, they got creative. During the 2008 US election, they sold cereal boxes. They called them Obama O's and Captain McKinn's. And somehow, they made $30,000. That money kept them alive, just long enough to join Y Combinator. And that's where Paul Graham saw the spark and gave them their very first seed funding. So, how did Airbnb solve these massive challenges? Let's break it down. First, building trust through reviews. They created a two-way review system. Hosts could review guests. Guests could review hosts. That transparency built trust and reduced the fear of staying with strangers. Second, professional photography. They noticed bad photos were killing bookings. So Airbnb sent free professional photographers to hosts. Suddenly, listings looked amazing and bookings shot up. Third, focus on user experience. They didn't think like a hotel chain. They designed Airbnb as a community marketplace. Easy booking, seamless payments, verified identities. The whole process felt simple and safe. Fourth, targeting events and niches. Instead of fighting hotels head-on, they focused on big events where hotels were sold out. Conferences, festivals, sports events. That's where they gained traction. Fifth, global expansion with local flavor. They adapted Airbnb to each country, local currencies, local cultures. In Japan, they highlighted traditional stays. In France, countryside cottages. It wasn't just global, it felt personal. And finally, leveraging the sharing economy trend. They weren't just selling rooms, they positioned Airbnb as part of a movement. Like Uber for rides, Airbnb for stays. That's how they turned skeptics into believers. The results were nothing short of revolutionary. By 2011, Airbnb had crossed 1 million bookings. By 2014, they were in 190 countries. Today, Airbnb has over 7 million listings. That's more than the top 5 hotel chains combined. In 2019, the company was valued at $31 billion. And in 2020, even with the pandemic crushing global travel, Airbnb pulled off a stunning IPO, debuting at a $100 billion valuation. Hotels, once untouchable, were suddenly forced to adapt. Entire cities began regulating Airbnb because of its massive impact on housing and tourism. Airbnb didn't just compete with hotels, they created an entirely new category of travel. So what can we learn from Airbnb's disruption? Lesson 1. Start small. Think big. They began with just 3 airbeds, but their vision was always global travel. Lesson 2. Solve trust first. Reviews, photos, verification. These weren't just nice features, they were the foundation of the entire business. Lesson 3. Be resourceful. When no one would fund them, they literally sold cereal boxes just to survive. Lesson 4. Timing matters. They rode the wave of the sharing economy at exactly the right moment. And Lesson 5. Focus on experience, not just service. Hotels sell rooms. Airbnb sells something deeper, the feeling of belonging anywhere in the world. And that's the story of how Airbnb disrupted hospitality and completely redefined the way we travel. Which part of Airbnb's journey inspired you the most? The air mattresses in their apartment? The cereal box hustle to survive? Or the $100 billion IPO? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth business case studies. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious and keep learning.